Hello, welcome back to my corner of the internet. My name is Brittany, and welcome to Florida Paradise. Come on, we're about to go to the office, so we are going to drive, we are going to yap, and we are going to talk about all things I don't really know. I haven't really gotten that far about what I'm yapping about, but like if you've been watching, my mind is going 50 miles per hour. Especially when I'm on the road and I'm by myself. So this is the perfect opportunity and time to kind of get this type of content in for me, because once I get to the office, your girl is working. So today we're driving good old money box since my truck is gone, and I'm gonna bring you along for the ride. I think we live. Yeah, we are. We finally made it to the car. Today was the first day in a little minute that I haven't had to take my daughter to school, which, it gave me another, I don't even know what you call it. It gave me another, is this thing on? It gave me another whim. It gave me another feeling of like energy and readiness. Tesla, you and this goddamn key card. Holy moly. Welcome back. Welcome back to what? But if you've been along, I want to say this might be episode 4 or 5, and we just about to give updates because life has been lifing and so much has been happening. And the beautiful part of this all is, my best friend comes in town next week, so I got to give a little backstory on my best friend because I have multiple best friends and I have a lot of friends from like different stages of life. I met my best friend. She went to Northwestern and she did this master's program with me. Although I had no classes with her, we had this thing called Immersion Weekend where we had to go to Northwestern in Chicago in person to do prove that we can be a group therapist or we can do group work. So we did our little 1-2, and baby, when I say with the minimal black people who were in this program, the moment we saw each other, because I had this African girl who I love down real bad named Bana. So Bana is from like DC area, and mind you, this is like an immersive. The program was like you really can tap in from anywhere in the country, but you had to be in person this weekend. So Bana is from that area. Bana and my friend Johanna had classes together. So although I didn't know Johanna, someone who I had classes with, and I was like this with knew her, and so me and Bana are talking, and Johanna rolls up and she's like, "What's up, y'all?" Da, da, da. And I'm just like, black girl, short cut, blonde hair, such a cutie, so vibrant, so like you can just tell, so positive, so loving, so nice from off rip. When I see things like that, because that's how I am as a person, when I see those things, I don't gonna love you. I don't even question it. I ain't no hesitation. Ain't no like, well, let's get to know each other so we can like figure out if this is. I'm just like not that person. And I've really never been that person, which I think has reinforced the thought to me that I'm going to always find the best in people, because I just have. Like, have I had fallings out with people and stopped being friends with people? Yes. And did I also have amazing years, friendships, relationships with those people too? Yes. So it's really hard for me to see anything less from a person other than them being amazing, them giving me the best, because that's all that I'm really used to. And when I don't have it, when I don't feel or see that from a person, I immediately know. So my level of discernment is chef's kiss, top tier. So when I meet Johanna, long story short, we are like clicked in. So we talked for like maybe like 10 minutes there. And then it was a whole weekend. It was like 4 days of like doing group therapy workshops with other people who are in the program. And let me get you out of here. Doing group therapy with people in the program. So we weren't in the same groups. I really didn't see her throughout the whole day, but like at the end of the day, or like when we're eating, we're like running to each other like, hey girl, hey girl, hey. So everyone had their own room, and we weren't close to one another, but like we were talking more. So I go up to her room and we're just like still chatting more. And she asked me the funniest question, because I'm just like, Rachel, what? We didn't get into like our backgrounds or like our lives outside of Northwestern just yet. But she asked me something, and she said like, "Are you proud? Like, are you?" I'm like, it then dawned on me that she meant, am I a part of the alphabet gang? Am I a part of the LGBTQIA plus community? To which I responded like very beautifully, like, I know, you know what I mean? Like, maybe back in the day I did a little, but no, I was like, yeah, girl, I got a man, love him down real bad. Like, I'm very heteronormative in that way. And she was so apologetic, like, wow, that was such a question that, like, to ask a stranger, like, we don't know each other, my bad for even like, and that showed me something too. So I'm just like, and you're considerate and you're thoughtful. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I go to Target the next day, and what month was this? This might have been either in June or July. I want to say this was in July, because at the Target that was nearby our university, they had all of their like Pride collection was like on sale for dirt cheap, and they were just like getting rid of this stuff, just getting rid of it by the bundle. So I found this black and proud, and the proud was in rainbow letters shirt. The shit was like $3. So I got a couple of them for like my friends who are a part of the alphabet gang. And so I brought her one, and she was so like, "Oh my god, you really got me a shirt. Thank you so much." She don't know it was $3, but that's besides the point. I think for her it was like, "Wow, you're so thoughtful, also considerate." So we don't really get to talk that much or spend that much time that weekend, but we leave, we're staying in touch, like texting just here and there, doing our little 1-2. And her graduation is like now the following June, right? So the following June she's graduating from Northwestern. I got pregnant. I wouldn't get a COVID vaccine, so like they basically kicked me out of school for a semester. So I'm like kind of behind at this point, like 2 semesters. I guess that may classify as a year, and I'm behind. So I'm from Chicago though originally. So when I know that it's her graduation, and she has like her family at the time, like her parents, her brother, and then her best friend, who, fuck that bitch because she's not her best friend no more. She was a really shady girl. And her best friend, side note, when I met her best friend, I knew she was shady from the jump. And that kind of plays into the story, because my friend then finds out that her friend is shady after 10 years of being friends with her, which is a really like a different type of hurt. So I go to her graduation in June. She has like a cute little Airbnb with her best friend, her family. Like, we're kicking it, having fun. I'm like spending time seeing my family, because that's where I'm from, born and raised. And that meant so much to her. And that made that I love doing that and having those moments with people. So I'm like, yes, girl, we clicked in tight. Like, we're friends. We wasn't using the best friend title yet, but I'm just like, you're my type of person, and it doesn't take me a lot to gauge or assess my type of people. When I find my people, it is like this. And it's not always as instantaneously, right? Because for her and it was like really the first year. But I feel that, I know that, so I go with it. So after her graduation, we were like even more click tight, right? She already has a best friend, and I have a couple best friends, so ain't no like, you're my best friend or not. Like, we ain't there yet, but I know it took the friendship to the next level when we are at the graduation together, because shortly after, I want to say, I had brought at that time, love was like 6 months old. So when I had left meeting her in 2022, I had just found out I was pregnant, which was also really crazy, because I was there being a hot girl and being like, ew, I'm so fun, I be doing all this stuff, to like, oh, actually, I don't do that stuff anymore. I may not be that person anymore because I'm actually pregnant. So she knew I was pregnant. She was so supportive and just with me through that first step of the way of pregnancy. Gave birth. She was so attentive. She was so supportive, like checking in. How are you? How have things been? Mind you, I got friends who live in the same place who I was playing volleyball with every day, who I was seeing all the time, who was like friends who I've been friends with for 10 years who weren't even doing that. But my friend from the last year had been. That was also very telling for me. So I am at the end of my program, and she's a little bit further ahead of me. So I'm at the end of my program, and I am risking not being able to graduate on time because I want to keep breastfeeding my baby. I hate being at the office, which is really just at the corner of my street, and childcare was getting so expensive. Like, I'm paying somebody's mortgage. I'm paying someone's like monthly bills with how much we were paying in childcare, like up to $2,500 sometimes. Too much. Can't do it, don't want to do it, right? So I'm like, we got to find another way to do this. And then Johanna literally offered, she's like, well, since I'm done and I'm just like awaiting licensure, I can come and stay with you for the next 3 months while you like finish your hours. And all you have to do is just take care of my bills at home, which was like at that time her studio. And I'm like, literally tears. You would do that? Like, I didn't even ask. It wasn't even in my brain to ask a friend or a family member, hey, can we work out something for 3 months where you can come and stay with us to help me with this new baby? Also, during this time, my mother-in-law is sick. So my boyfriend is going back and forth to Jacksonville. Um, he's traveling a lot. Like, he's not there. I'm not a single mom, but like, I'm parenting at this point by myself. So whenever he's not there, I'm alone with the nanny. Then he would come back and we spend time together. But it was a whole bunch of that on and off. So I love telling these stories. Like, as I'm telling it and reliving the moment, I'm like, this was so beautiful how everything just worked out. So she basically moves in, comes to our home September 25th. 20 minutes before she lands, my boyfriend texted me that his mom had just died. So it was really just like on time that she came the time that she did, because now my boyfriend was being called to be somewhere else and take care of his family while I'm in Tampa, with this new baby. And single mothers, like individual primary parents, when I tell you that that has got to be the hardest job, trying to be everything. Single parents, primary parents, I give it to you, because that has to be the hardest thing that you could possibly do, is like being everything for your child. When I tell you, took everything from me. And I was breastfeeding. So like, in between clients, I'm pumping. I would go home on my break. I would hold her just to feed her. Like, it was a rough time. And I can't say I was going through postpartum depression at all during that time, at least. But being by myself, I needed the support. And when my friend came through and gave me the support, I said, yeah, we are forever locked in. Like, she was with my baby when my baby took her first steps. And she was able to record her first steps. And like, of course, if that was just anybody I was paying to be with my child, I question, would they have given that same level of care? Would they have been that intentional? Would they have been that loving? Would they have been that connected? And probably not. So like, I had the most perfect person to provide to my daughter. And that is something, oh, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it right now. That is something that I could never take for granted. Like, no amount of money, no amount of things, no amount of praise, recognition, acknowledgement, like no amount of nothing compares to being able to give your child the best. So I did my big one. She did her big one, but I did my big one because I picked a great friend. And here we go. So my mother-in-law passes that day. She gets in town. I'm immediately like, I know we had this plan, but now all the plans have changed. We're leaving. Don't even unpack your stuff. You get in the car. Like the next day, we drive to Jacksonville, which is about 3 hours away. And now we're there for like truly the next week. And so I watched her come into my life, take care of my family, me, my man, my baby, my household, my cat. She was sleeping on a futon in my daughter's room. Like, her and Love were sharing a room. I used to look at the camera sometimes because she would be sleeping. They would be napping, but Love would wake up. And then Love wasn't like fully walking yet, but she would just be like holding on to the blanket, like playing a little bit. Johanna sleep. She would be playing right next to her. And I would see Love look at her and like pat her on the back. Or like I would see Love poke her on the nose or touch her hair. And it was like, I was a hormonal, emotional ball of emotions. So, oh my gosh, this is bringing back so much for me. And I recorded a lot of those videos too, because it was so sweet. It was so beautiful. And I'm now I look at the relationship that Love and Johanna has, because she calls her Yo-Yo or like TTO. The relationship they have. When Johanna's on the phone, I want to talk to Yo-Yo. I said, Lovey, can I have my phone back? She's like, no, can you talk later? Because I want to talk to her right now. It's like so beautiful. But she is an integral part of my whole daughter's like upbringing, her life. She has been with my daughter. She met my daughter before I even knew my daughter was in me. But she has been a part of my daughter's life since my daughter was born. Since at 6 months old, she met her. Like, and then now we made it a thing that every year she would come into town and we would do something. So the last year she came into town, I was having my book release. I scheduled my book release around the time that she could be there, because when you have a friend that's supportive, that's going to push you, challenge you, help you, love you, just your family, everything. How she gave to my boyfriend's family as they're grieving, you know, like an important figure to them. Like, she was pouring into about 50 people, and she was still grounded, and from what I perceived as being still very whole. So this year she's coming into town next weekend, and I'm having an event at my office, which will be the first type of event like this that I've done. It's called a Think Shop, where 10 clinicians are going to come together and teach us their thing, which I'm super excited about. But I'm like, girl, when can you come? Because that is when I'm going to make my moves on the next thing that I do. And I try to have like, I do multiple events or like togethernesses a year. But the bigger things, I'm like, I need my girl here. I want my girl to be a part of it. And like I said, she's also one of the smartest people I've ever met. So I really want to hear her talk. I want to learn from her. I need her there. So yeah, that is my best friend, and she's gonna be in town. And I got me a little to-do list for her. It's like I need her to do some like creative thing, because she's also a phenomenal artist. So she does art and shit too. Like, not just art, she does arts. Like, if I were to show you some of the things that she's painted, museum quality. She does art. The talent is in every single facet, in every fiber of her talent, skill. Whew, I'm like getting chills just thinking about that. She's really amazing. I just realized I made this whole video because I'm almost at my office. I'm like, what did I come here to talk about? My friend coming in town, the background on our friendship, why she's so phenomenal, amazing, important to me, to my family, to my baby, to my extended family, all of the above. She even came with me to Birmingham. Like, when she was here, she came and met my family. She met my granny, my sister, my mom, my brother, like my nieces and nephews. Like, she is now my family, like literally a sister. So as we get older, this is what I want to segue into, because as we get older, sometimes it feels very hard to um, gain community, to find friendships, to know who's real and who's not. And like, a lot of us carry this friendship trauma. Like, we was done wrong, and now it's like I gotta keep my eye open for every single woman because women are blank 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 type of thing. And I've never really lived by that mentality. Of course, I think I am fortunate to have had really just intimate and intentional relationships with people across the board, from like I still got my first friend I ever met elementary school, still my friend. Middle school, still had those friends. Like, high school, college, friends that I've literally just met now. Like, shout out to Ray, because I met a girl at one of my mutual friends, like kickbacks. They were having like a poker night at their house, and I met this girl, and she has like a 10-month-old, maybe a 9-month-old baby, and a 6-year-old. And how she parents, I just remember making a note of how she was talking to her daughters. And it's stuff like that for me that's like, you're my type of friend. I don't even know. At this point, I didn't even talk to her or really didn't know anything about her. But that alone shows me like how you made it to the office. But like, how you talk to the waitress, how you talk to your children, how you If you kill bugs when we're outside, right? Little things like that, I know we're not going to be friends. If you kill a bug and the bug ain't bothering you, I can see if a bee coming and you swatting, a roach in your house and you kill it. But there's some things that I'm just like, you gonna be my person. And then there's other things that I just know, like, you are not gonna be my person. So if you are a woman in that 20s to 30 somethings and you're getting older and you realize, hey, I want community, or I need friendships I'm looking for friendships. I want friendships that are meeting me where I'm at right now and not who I was at that other phase of my life that I'm no longer at. I think there's a couple of rules of thumb to take. And I think one of them is, what do you value as an individual? I value softness, safety, compassion. I value like being intentional. I really value people who value people. Like, I like people who love people because that's how I am. And chances are, if you're like that with the world and others, you'll probably be like that with me too. Maybe you won't, but maybe you will. So I look for in people the things that I really love about myself, because I just believe like how we perceive the world is really a reflection of who we are internally. And I know that girl and I'm so close with her and I love her, aka me. So when I reflect that into the world, I look for people who mimic the things I love about myself. Now, does everyone have flaws? Yes. Will anybody be the perfect friend? No. Like, will people miscommunicate? Will there be misunderstandings? Will you not like something that they're doing or how they're moving? Yes, you will. Like, but are you willing and ready and wanting to be confrontational to save your relationship and ensure that you guys get past a rough patch? Then it works. But if you're not, I think that's your answer too. Then it won't work. So I get to see my best friend. So I am so freaking excited. And then I bought a little tea set. That was one of my things on the to-do list for her, is having a tea party with Love. I bought Love a tea party set, and she's always been saying, like, lately she's been wanting to have tea parties and go to the pet store. So I don't know what that's about, but Friday I'll be working. So she's gonna get Lovey out of school and they're gonna do something. Like, really, they can just go to the pet store for real. But I'm like, I want my alone, grown up woman sisterhood time. I want Love to have her like one-on-one TTO time. Then we'll do like family time where me, her, Alex, and the baby will get together and do something, and like go to the beach, sit, like do nothing, but then do everything. So um friendship is so important. And I am right now going through so much friendship grief because I have lost 3 friends who were probably some of the closest people to me um, in the last 10 years. But what I had to understand and realize, that if people are holding you to an expectation or a standard to not change, they are probably not the people for you. If people feel intimidated or threatened by you growing in every capacity, whether you start going to the gym and eating right, whether you start a new business and you're making more money, whether you're, growing as a person and healing, so you're making new friends, like, if you are not here for the growth, especially if it's not harming you or harming me, I can see if I'm dating somebody who ain't the best person and you're seeing something maybe that I'm not. But allowing myself, that's what I'm gonna say, because I didn't really lose them. I really gained a greater sense of myself by allowing those people to exit my life. And ever since I have, and maybe this is not because of them, ever since I let those people go out of my life 10x'd, literally. And that has to say something. I don't know what it says. I'm trying to debunk that with right now with my therapist. I don't know what it says, but it says something. and I'm taking it. Right? I didn't lose. I really gained a greater sense of community and friendship. I really gained a greater sense of myself because I went through this pruning process where I was just like more alone. Um, with the support of the friends who are around and they know about that hurt, but like I had people supporting me being hurt by losing other friendships. And so that even made the friendships that I had even stronger. Like God been doing his big one with me. So I love that. And if you're here and you made it to this 25-minute mark, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, welcome to my channel. Feels real unreal. Um, because whether you come here and you're just like entertained by the antics, you're learning something, or you just support me and you're just sitting here watching shit, I don't know. But the internet is such a vast place. It really feels like the wild, wild west. And I feel like the space on the internet and in this virtual world that I am creating for myself and other people who want to join and kind of be a part, I really just want to look at it like it's my corner. Like I just have a piece of the internet. And feel free to come in if you would like. And then if it's not for you, then it's like close the door. But telling that story again just did something for me. And I'm so, so grateful that I get these beautiful people placed into my life in the way that they were. Because I don't go out searching for them. I don't go out finding like, hey, you want to be my friend? Try and be friends. Should we be friends? Like, none of that. Like, I have such a great support system already. And if you come around and you just contribute to that and you're a great addition, you're going to be at it. And I love that for me. And I love that for you. So, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And she rubs hand like Birdman. Until next time.